will always be a monster.
I know.
That's exactly what you need to be to survive Valhalla, given its roguelike test of skill. And the truth is, with any glyph perk, it's meant to be abused. If you've spent more than 10 hours in Valhalla, you already know that weapons, runics, and everything in Kratos' arsenal hit way harder than they ever did in Ragnarok. And that's where things start getting broken. So I went through every major glyph category, weapon, silver, gold, even perfect burden glyph, and narrowed them down to what I believe are the top 10 most broken glyphs in the entire God of War Valhalla. Keep in mind that the list is purely my take, shaped by over 70 plus hours of Valhalla runs, and doesn't invalidate your opinion. So, in no particular order, let's start with one of the most overpowered glyphs in the game. Elemental Hunter. Elemental Hunter turns the Draupnir spear into a straight-up machine gun with superpowers. No long explanation needed. This glyph sits comfortably in the top 1% of the most broken tools in all of Valhalla. You're literally playing with every element in the game, and you decide how enemies are punished. You can spam spear throws, blast elements with the Gale Force skill, or just destroy bosses with relentless combos. And here's the wild part. Pair it with Siphoned Storms, the perfect glyph companion, and you create elemental storms that puts you on full throttle against any type of boss while kissing them goodbye. Now, even though the storm cycles through fire, frost, and bifrost only, that limitation is insignificant to the might of the Elemental Hunter. Alright, next on the list of the top 10 most broken glyphs in Valhalla. Raging Realm Shift. The Raging Realm Shift is a game breaker, an absolute S-tier glyph, and needs no hype. It's already legendary across the entire God of War Norse saga. This glyph gives you one of the most reliable Realm Shift triggers in the game. In Valhalla, where pressure is constant, Raging Realm Shift is an easy way out, creates free damage windows and guarantees safe combos plus runic setups. The best part? It makes you feel unstoppable. When paired with glyphs like Raging Aftermath and Empowered Shift, the damage during that slowed time window spikes massively with every combo amplified. And for anyone wondering how to unlock it in the base game, you need to defeat every Berserker in New Game Plus, except King Hrolf, and equip all their relics together as an amulet set. Doing that unlocks not just the Realm Shift, but also grants access to the 9 Realms perk. Quick one before we move on. If you found this glyph insights useful, dropping a like lets me know you want more, and it really helps out the channel. And I genuinely appreciate the support. Alright, let's move on to the next broken glyph. Focus the Flames. Focus the Flames is one of the most overpowered Blades of Chaos weapon glyphs in Valhalla, and it excels mainly at 2 things. First, it dramatically reduces runic cooldowns of the blades. Second, it drastically amplifies runic damage once Flame Whiplash is fully charged. Here's where some miss it. Once you initiate the Flame Whiplash, notice how you enter the Focus the Flames boosted state. Normally, you'd follow up with Scorched Sweep or Scorched Earth to trigger the cooldown effect, but instead chain directly into a runic attack. Watch the glyph indicator on the left, it stays active throughout the entire runic animation. That's how you know the Focus the Flames glyph executed successfully, and if that runic is something heavy like Atlas Eruption, the impact is often massive in a way that feels straight up unfair. You know the crazy part? Pair that with a perfect companion glyph such as Whiplash Refresh, which also reduces the runic cooldown time on the blades, or Armament Focus, which drastically increase runic damage. And damn! The runic recharges in less than 4 seconds, and the damage? Absolutely mind-blowing. Alright, let's move on to the next broken glyph. Divine Edge. Divine Edge is basically the Zeus armor philosophy in Valhalla. If you've used Zeus armor in the base game, you already know what this means. Absurd melee damage and insane runic power. By default, Divine Edge boosts damage by 40%, and one of its biggest feat is that it stacks with any glyph that amplifies melee or runic output. And the great news? Valhalla has plenty of them. Every hit, every combo pushes your damage far beyond what's reasonable. But here's the catch, and it's a brutal one. Just like with Zeus armor, getting hit is catastrophic. One mistake means taking massive damage, or outright dying, and you pay the ultimate price, which is restarting the Valhalla run. That's why Divine Edge isn't for everyone. It's a high-risk, high-reward glyph made for players confident in no damage or near-perfect gameplay. If that's you, Valhalla stops being a challenge and starts feeling like a speedrun. And just to mention a few, when paired with glyphs such as Valorous Bloodthirst, Detonator's Might, Slayer's Strength, Soulless Warrior, Power of Empress, or even Focus the Flames, the damage output goes completely off the charts. That's what makes Divine Edge one of the most powerful, high damage, high reward kind of glyph. Alright, let's move on to the next broken glyph. Deep Freeze. Deep Freeze is a patience, precision, and punishment type of glyph. High risk, massive reward when executed cleanly. It delivers one of the strongest frost damage bursts in the entire Leviathan Axe lineup, with an area of effect wide enough to punish grouped enemies instantly. But Valhalla doesn't give that easy space. With faster, more aggressive enemies, Deep Freeze's slower activation demands perfect timing and spacing, and you can't afford to get interrupted mid-whirlwind. When played correctly though, this glyph is a run killer. Land it clean, and your entire Valhalla campaign takes less than 15 minutes of runtime. But if you find yourself missing the timing though, your experience becomes frustrating, reminding you why mistakes are expensive in Valhalla. Now here is one crazy pairing. With the Axe Whirlwind plus Glyph, its synergy becomes lethal. Strong defense, massive frost output, rapid permafrost gain, and burst damage that can shave minutes off your runs. Alright, let's move on to the next broken glyph. One that has a potential to keep bosses from even landing a blow. Soulless Assault. Soulless Assault is among the top 1% of the most broken glyphs in the Valhalla, an S tier that is the engine for relic builds. High chance to grant soul charge on relic use means you can keep your buffs and cooldowns cycling almost infinitely. Now, if you've spent any time in the Greek spheres, you know Santa Monica made Valhalla stingy with its best toys. The most powerful relics, such as Hilt of Hofud and Hilt of Skofnung, usually only give you 1 or 2 slots. The mid-tier stuff might give you 3 to 7, but you're always watching that counter. With Soulless Assault, it literally tells you, forget the rules. It gives you more slots, with a good chance to gain a soul charge every time you land or complete successful hits. And in a high luck build, you can effectively stay in a constant state of buffed up dominance. Now imagine if that relic you equipped is the Hilt of Skofnung, which goes all the way up to 3 slots. And with every use it recharges almost immediately then, you know it's game over for any of the bosses. Alright, let's move on to the next broken glyph. Blessed Armaments. The Blessed Armaments is a scaling spike, providing a universal power boost for all weapons' triangle attacks. Now here's why it's broken. The moment you activate a triangle attack, whether for the axe, blades, or spear, Kratos enters a blessed state. And during that window, everything gets boosted. Melee damage, runic damage, luck, and overall output all at once. The key detail here, that blessed state lasts for about 10 seconds and it does not reset on taking damage, meaning your damage stays maxed even while trading hits. It also has nearly 100% luck chance to be triggered more often. So, even if the 10 seconds of Blessed State elapses, just activate again with any of the weapons' triangle attack and you're good. And because it's a universal buff, it stacks cleanly with strength glyphs, runic amplifiers, elemental effects such as Armament Focus, Detonator's Might, Dragon's Fury, just everything. With that, let's see what the next broken glyph can do.
Ha! I knew you'd get that one!
Vanir Poison. Vanir Poison is the alpha glyph that makes bare-handed combat feel super strong and effective, and it doesn't even require Kratos to use any of his weapons in combat. In Valhalla, it's so powerful that it not only deals melee or poison damage, but actively weakens enemies, cutting their output and making them far easier to conquer. And here's where it gets nasty. Valhalla almost always follows this glyph up with its perfect companion glyph, Prey upon Poison, stacking even more melee damage against poisoned enemies. What makes Vanir Poison broken is its high effectiveness in combat. 100% consistency. No cooldowns, no timing windows, no setups. Once Poison is active, even the most brutal and aggressive boss becomes defenseless. And in crowd control situations, you walk through effortless. It's not flashy, but powerful enough to sustain combat into a one-sided fight. And that's exactly why Vanir Poison belongs on this list. Alright, let's move on to the next broken glyph.
Brilliant!
Scorched Blades Plus. Scorched Blades Plus is one of those glyphs players underestimate because it hides behind a mechanic everyone already knows, Flame Whiplash. But in Valhalla, this glyph turns Flame Whiplash into a straight-up damage engine. It's the backbone of Scorched Sweep Plus and Scorched Earth Plus. Once it's active, burn stacking becomes fast, explosive, and relentless. A single Whiplash can erupt into flame bursts, stack heavy burn damage, and wipe groups of enemies. Even tanky targets like Ormstunga don't last long. What makes Scorched Blades Plus so broken is how effortless it is. No setup, no strict timing, high impact damage, pure aggressive pressure. Pair it with perfect companion glyphs such as Scorching Burn or Burning Immolation. Then every follow-up hits vaporize bosses instantly. And the best part? It massively charges up the immolation skill. So if you're running a burn-focused Blades build, this glyph isn't optional. It's foundational. Alright, let's move on to the last broken glyph on our list of top 10. The Nine Realms. For this glyph, repeatedly inflicting damage without getting hit invokes a powerful blessing of the Nine Realms. The Nine Realms rewards aggressive, uninterrupted combat. All you need is just a few repeated hits without taking damage, and Kratos enters a Nine Realms blessing state that provides a significant damage boost to strength, runic magic, and specific abilities such as Glacial Permafrost and Furious Immolation, L1 plus triangle attacks, and can also buff defense. In other words, the better your spacing, timing, and pressure, the stronger Kratos becomes. Unlike Valorous Bloodthirst, which is shorter in duration, the Nine Realms is active for 10 seconds and significantly boosts those damage output of Kratos' basic attacks, making it far more consistent and deadly in high-skill runs. So there you have it. Alright, let us know your favorite glyphs in the comment section, the ones you run or the ones you completely think are broken. And quick one, Spartan. Channel memberships are now live, early access, deeper builds, and some behind-the-scenes stuff I don't usually post. No pressure at all, just there if you want to go deeper. Also remember to subscribe for amazing future projects coming your way. Leave us a like if you enjoyed the breakdown, and if you want, you can watch the videos on the screen covering a mini-series on the best and worst runic attacks, as well as other projects across the Norse saga. I would see you in the next video, and bye for now.